Hi YouTube, welcome to Butterfly Alchemist. This is Lunaria, and today I'll be talking about the power of facing your own corruption. I will be drawing on some supernatural experiences I went through, but even if you don't believe in the supernatural in the same way, I still feel like this video will benefit you. So, we get told a lot of things these days on how we're all basically good people and everyone's decent. And I kind of have a large concern on this because I don't feel like I've said in previous videos, this is matching the outcomes we're seeing in society. So if there's that incongruence of our self-perceptions of who we are as people with what is happening due to the state of human nature, then there has to be a way to address that incongruence. And I think part of that is each of us really examining what it means to be a decent person and whether we truly are. And one thing I would like to bring up is I don't want people to be too depressed in hearing these things. This is more just a thought exercise to start thinking on these things. So they say we all have things, skeletons in the closet, so to speak, things we hide about ourselves. But I want you to consider this. If we're talking about good or bad, let's think of it as a home being clean or unclean. Well, let's say we clean all the aspects of the home that guests see. And we tidy up the living room, we make it look really nice, and we lock certain rooms. And if guests were to see those rooms, they would see filthy contaminants and that we'd kept dangerous hazards in our rooms that could be safety concerns. Would we say the home is truly clean? No, we would say the home was structured in a way that it looks clean to others, but in reality, there are hazards within it. And the thing is, a lot of us are like that internally by not bringing to light, into the openness of our own heart, even our own self-perception, that we have these rooms within our souls that are not up to par. Not only do we not become more soulful individuals with greater integrity, we also feel like we're constantly hiding aspects of ourselves. And they say there's no rest for evil, and it's true. Whatever we hide from others, when we go to those hidden rooms, we know it's there, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. So that's one thing. And the truth is, we all have those hidden rooms. And this has to be something we address alongside talking about the goodness we carry. Of course, I always talk about the goodness we each carry and transformation and the beautiful capacities of human beings to do wonderful and noble things. But to truly bring greater capacity to that, we have to address our inner corruption. And that's something very uncomfortable for us, of course. And now I'll draw on a supernatural experience I had, and you're free to believe it or not. This is just something I experienced that changed how I viewed my life ever since. And it has been many years since this happened. And it kind of shaped me the rest of my life. So I was at a period of time where I was not behaving in the best light, and I was becoming a selfish person. And I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I had gone through a lot of trials even from my youth, and it caused me to adopt certain tendencies that were not good. They were corrupted tendencies. and I was not on a good trajectory towards proper self development. And I was mad at the divine. I told myself I did not believe in the divine during that time. But I had a series of dreams during that time that really changed me ever since. And one dream in particular was didn't really feel like a dream at all. It felt like a true supernatural experience. So I was shown in this vision an alternate reality, which was actually the path I was headed on. And I saw the sky was bright black and red, and I saw total devastation around me. No buildings, no signs of society or civilization. Where I was felt like an eternal place in a different reality, as strange as that sounds. And I was shown that this had been after I had died. And I was shown that I was judged as corrupted. And I was also given an indication I didn't kill or do anything so quote unquote terrible. But that was the problem. I thought I was a decent person. But when I was confronted with knowing that I was facing my own judgment by my creator, all those thoughts immediately just dissipated. I knew right away I had been selfish with my loved ones. I knew right away in that reality I hadn't changed those dark rooms or addressed them. That I had kept telling myself, let me be mad at the world around me, rather than becoming a steward of my own soul and others by realizing a proper steward has to prune themselves of corruption so they can guide others this way. And that doesn't mean that we're not building people up. When you build a garden up, you notice its beautiful attributes, but you also correct it along the way. And I saw in this reality I hadn't done that. I didn't think I needed to. I was prideful. And it was startling. The vision was extremely vivid, and it was absolutely not a normal dream. And I saw my reckoning with my creator, and at the time I didn't think of my loved ones in the usual sense. I thought of how I had been selfish towards them and towards all beings, and I had nobody to blame but me in that reality. I didn't blame God in that vision I saw. And it honestly frightened me enough because it gave me a true picture of the state of my own soul. And I've examined that ever since much more diligently. And that really changed me. But even if you don't believe in the supernatural in the same way, I think sitting with yourself and asking yourself, and even with a piece of paper saying, what secret rooms do I carry in the home of my own soul? And what lurks in those places that I'm not cleaning out or addressing? And what do I have to do to start addressing those things? And if I take egoic pain out of the way, because our ego hurts to hear we're not perfectly good, what is the true state of me? What does a true self-evaluation say? What areas am I doing well in? What areas am I not doing well in? And it can be very painful, that pruning process, to confront these things, and instead of coming at it from a place of positive attributes, to focus temporarily on your negative attributes. But I promise you, when you go through that process and you face what's lurking in the closet, you give a gift to yourself that you avoid becoming a more corrupt soul. You know, there's this idea that thoughts become deeds, deeds become habits, habits become character, and character becomes destiny. So I forgot the person who stated this, but either way, it's a very prominent idea. And what it means is that there has to be a self examination because there could come a time where you don't even realize what you're becoming because you never examined it and brought it to the light in time. And that could shape the person you can become in ways that are harmful. So, I hope this helps. I know it's a little different than my usual content and kind of somber a little, but it's actually to encourage people. I believe in everyone's ability to do these self examinations, or I wouldn't be talking about it. And I believe there's ways to apply these concepts, no matter what your worldview, in a way that still improves your character. So I hope this is helpful, and thank you. Bye.